This is Lagers and Loudmouths, conversations unfiltered.
What's going on, thinkers and drinkers out there? Welcome to episode 16 of Lagers and Loudmouths. My name is Ty, and I'm sitting here with my co-host.
Did you just try to give yourself my name?
I almost gave myself your name.
It is a great name.
Yeah, that's okay, I guess. Back to where we were going with that. We have a very special guest on the podcast today, but before we get into that, Cam, why don't you talk to us about the beer we're drinking today?
Yeah, we're going back to Zool. We've been with Zool multiple times on the podcast because they're local, and they generally have a pretty good variety of things to pick from, so we don't kind of run the same show over and over again. But this week we are drinking Betty's Peach Cobbler, and I'm going to tell you that Betty's looking pretty fine on this can.
Yeah, they got that little pinup model. She got the teardrop tattoos.
I do like a pinup.
I'm not sure what the
as you can see
the
about my
past
leg.
Yeah, right. I don't know what the past of her is with those teardrop tattoos, but we're not going to ask any questions.
No, so it's Betty's Peach Cobbler. It is currently sitting at about a 4.2, which, if you know anything about Untapped, is a pretty impressive rating. So they kind of categorize it as peach cobbler gluten-free sour with peaches, vanilla, cinnamon, and brown sugar. And they are very explicitly saying that it does not contain lactose. I don't know why, but it doesn't. Yeah. I guess for people who are lactose intolerant.
Sure.
How's it taste? I haven't cracked it yet.
Yeah, it's really solid. I like it a lot. Very heavy on the brown sugar aspect, in my opinion. I get a little bit of the peach and a little bit of the spices, but the brown sugar is like in your face.
What do you think, Leslie?
No, I agree with Tyler. Definitely that brown sugar, but no, Betty's doing it right.
Yeah, I would do Betty right. Sorry, inappropriate. All right, so yeah, Betty's, check it out. Zool Beer Company in Knoxville. We've talked about them before. They kind of got the great location where they're in that old Motorworks building, so it's an awesome location. Check it out in Knoxville next time you're over there.
That being said, we do have a special guest on, my personal friend, Miss Leslie Beach.
Hello.
Leslie, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself before we get into our serious topic of the day?
Oh, a little bit about me. I don't know how special I am, but,
We're
thanks
all
for calling me a
special,
friend. So currently I am the general manager of 1907 Brewing Company.
The
in
best brewery in
Morristown,
Morristown, Tennessee.
Absolutely. And, so Tyler and I spend a lot of time together at the brewery, honestly. He is definitely my right-hand man there, very reliable, and I appreciate that, Tyler.
We're not talking about Tyler. To hell with him. Talk about yourself.
So as far as being a subject matter expert, I won't call myself that at all. This is what I'm here for today, is just to talk with you guys. I love what you're doing with the podcast, and it's just something that I find interesting, which is, I think, kind of part of the premise of what you guys are doing here, is just kind of sparking interesting conversation. And so that's why I'm here. Personally, I have two wonderful children.
I was getting ready to say, you're selling yourself short. You're not a subject matter expert. You've got two pretty damn good kids.
I do. I do.
Just alluding to the topics, it's nature versus nurture, and she's got two pretty damn good kids who are quite successful. So she knows a little bit about it. I'd consider her a moderate expert.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. They are fantastic. I mean, they're just wonderful humans, and I think that as a parent, that's just such a win. You've got people that you know are trustworthy or kind, and I think I'll give myself props on that one. I had a little something to do with those two.
A little something.
Well, that transitions really good into our serious topic of the day, which is, do you believe that nature or nurture has a greater influence on shaping personality traits?
That is a good question. And I mean,
it's an age-old question,
too. It has. It's been around for literally hundreds of years, and people have debated both sides of it one way or the other. All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, I always like to start with our kind of off-the-cuff answer. What do you think, Tyler?
I don't really think it's one or the other right off the cuff. I'll get into my specifics later. I think it's a balance of each. But
do you think one leans more?
Yes, okay. I think that nurture has much more of a heavy influence on that than nature at this point in time.
All right. Well, would you put it at like 80-20, 70-30?
Yes. Yeah, somewhere in there.
All right.
I'll expand upon it later.
Yep. All right, Leslie, what do you think?
Okay. So I think that we are inherently wired to be altruistic.
Yep. Okay.
To exhibit pro-social behaviors, for instance, to be empathetic. So I think nature has a lot to do with it, not so much on the side of genetics as much as just how we are wired, how our brains function,
Okay.
which is what I find really interesting. And I think that, like Tyler said, it is a balance, because I think it's very important that we nurture our natural
Inclinations, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm kind of right there with you. Again, you read anything, I don't think there's any definitive answer to this. It is a combination of both. I tend to lead a little bit more towards environments or nature, or nurture in that case. So just so we can kind of clarify what is what. Nature is your genetic predisposition to something. So in terms of, it's like what you were given, and just not to get into a big science lesson here, but just to give you a little bit, the average human has 20,000 different genes. So, and a lot of those genes will influence, again, things like your body shape, your size. You look at your parents, that's probably what you're going to look like for the most part. So that's nature. That's the genetic things that you've been given. Nurture is like your environmental influences. Like your mom listens to some sort of music growing up, so guess what? You like that music as an adult as well. That's going to be more nurture. Again, I think I'm with you, both of you. I think both of them certainly play a factor, but I do tend to lean more towards the environment as kind of being the end all be all of what determines who you are.
Yeah, 100%. I think, as you grow up, you're essentially a sponge for a big portion of your life. So
Yeah.
you're just kind of absorbing all this information. You see how people interact around you, how people act in certain situations in different environments. And I think you pick up with that, and it kind of becomes a norm to you. So you look around you and you see, things going on and how people act, and you kind of just gravitate towards acting like that because that is the norm. And I think that's kind of proven out in different kind of cultural environments. The norm for the United States might not be the norm
for sure.
in China or in Europe. So you see differences in how people act based off of their culture, essentially.
Yeah, no, definitely. What do you think, Leslie?
Yeah, I think, as far as kind of mirroring society and mirroring, the people that are around you, certainly the people that raise you, I tend to dig a little deeper into what, as humans, what we are inclined to exhibit. So taking, everyone knows oxytocin, feel good hormone, right? So the ways that you get doses of that through human interaction, obviously, it's a hugging hormone, things like that. So it's, people often joke like, were you not hugged enough as a child? And it's, it's said with some levity, but I mean, seriously,
There's
if you
probably,
have
there's something to that.
a deficiency of that kind of feel-good hormone for a prolonged, amount of time, does that change your brain? Does that change how you interact with other people? I certainly think it does.
I'd be curious to see how that plays into like addiction.
Yeah.
Like somebody who at a young age did not get that, I will say, that dose of oxytocin or that dopamine from their environment, from their family, if those people have a higher likelihood of going towards something that's addictive, because addictive behaviors do release dopamine. That's why people go back to them.
Right.
And oxytocin. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any studies on that.
I'd say you're probably going down the right path there. It makes sense. I don't know scientifically.
Yeah.
The
No, it does
experiments
make
have been
sense,
done,
though.
but yeah.
Well,
no.
and I think people that have gotten to that point in their life, so they're looking for something to get that hit of like a feel good, and they lean toward addiction, and then that, of course, leans toward certain positions that they end up in life.
Yeah.
Their socioeconomic status because of choices that they've made. That I think is really dangerous, because those are the type of people that groups of people, let's say cults, I won't call out any specific type, they prey on those people because they're looking for something to connect to give them that kind of hit without, doing something.
They need that sense of community that they can get.
They have essentially a vulnerability or a gap that needs to be filled, and they're susceptible to that kind of thing, especially if you've been deprived of it your entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one could also make the argument that modern day religion is that. I might, but I'm not going to go down that road
Yeah,
today.
Well, I mean, in regard to religion too, I mean, as far as, where we are in society and just kind of what the quote unquote norms are, like we grew up in a certain area,
Yeah.
Cam and I especially,
Yep.
and it gets kind of drilled into your brain
It
that
does.
if you are religious, that means you're good. If you are not religious, that means you are bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just very black and white. I think that, intrinsically we are responsible for our pro-social behaviors. It's not an outside source that has to tell us that it feels good to help someone.
Yeah, I would agree with
Yeah,
that
I
statement for the
would-
most part.
I would agree with that. And I don't think anybody, I don't know if this is scientifically correct, but in my mind, this is how I think of things. When you're born, I kind of see that individual as a blank slate, like a ball of clay. And as you go through life, it gets molded. So, if you're in a very toxic, bad, insert whatever word you want there, environment, then it's going to dictate how you are as a person. I don't think people are inherently born good or bad. I think they are molded into that person through the experiences throughout their life.
I don't know. I mean, I'm with you for the most part, but I do think that, and I think these people are exceptions, like your Jeffrey Dahmers of the world. I think there are people who are perhaps just inherently genetically bad. I don't know. I don't know
Can
if
you
that's.
be genetically bad?
I don't know.
Can you have a genetically bad personality?
I don't know, but I mean, I'm not going to discount the fact that there's certainly environmental influences that probably push them towards that, and that if they were in a better environment, maybe they wouldn't have been. But I think there are just inherently bad people out there.
So at the top of the show, I mentioned, I think it's more, 70, 80% nurture, 30, 20% nature. But I'm kind of looking at that from just a average person perspective.
Yeah, I would
if-
agree. There
I mean-
are obviously going to be outliers.
Yeah, so some of those outliers, at least in my opinion, are like, okay, if you're born with, a severe disability, whether you're, paralyzed from birth or something like that, that individual is going to be more heavily influenced by nature because, hey, you got dealt a shitty set of cards from day one,
Yep.
and that's going to play a significant role in how your upbringing is.
Yep.
You can have the best influences in the world, but you still have that, other aspect of your life that has helped develop you in a significant way.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. As far as, the societal pressure or any kind of, religious intervention, I think it's really interesting to look back in, thousands of years ago where that type of influence wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right? So there is the case of M9. So it's a young Vietnamese boy who was the skeletal remains prove that he was at the least paraplegic, at most quadriplegic.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have taken a group of people to help prolong his life. And the age that he lived shows that for over a decade, either one person or a group of
Gotcha.
people as a society helped this person live. There were skeletal remains of people who had no teeth during like Paleolithic times, so people would have had to have actively cared for another human when at the time it was more about survival, right? So the
fact that they were willing to go that extra
Yeah.
step for somebody who they could have easily just kind of thrown through
Yeah.
the curb, yeah.
I mean, that just shows me that at that point in time, whatever society that they were in, regardless of how big or small it is, it could be a massive city or it could be a small tribe. It's like the temperature within that environment was leaning more positive because
Agreed.
it would have been way easier just to say, hey, tough shit guy.
Yeah, that's
But-
nurture all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it also naturally, like as a human, we are inclined to care for someone else. I mean, there are studies around, toddlers who, haven't had a lifetime of nurture or even a significant amount of nurture that exhibit pro-social behaviors, that exhibit actual empathy, characteristics of empathy, sharing, being upset when someone else is upset, trying to console another toddler. I find that fascinating. And that, leans me into the nature of how our brains are.
We're wired.
We're wired.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can see that. I like that.
I can definitely see that. And I think it kind of makes me think more about, my previous answers now. Because, that it seems like, hey, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And
maybe genetics are playing a big factor.
Yeah, maybe it is playing a big factor.
I just don't think that nature and nurture are mutually exclusive.
Agreed.
Oh,
No,
no.
I think that's the problem.
No,
Is
no,
we
no.
try to think of them as separate things. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
they are very cohesive. They work together to make you who you are.
And the thing is, too, it's like, I don't, and the doctor in the room can correct me if I'm inherently wrong, but
I will. You know
I
that.
will.
know you-
Oh, wait, Cam. Okay, sorry.
But I don't think we 100% understand the entire internal workings of the human brain.
No, not even close.
So, I think that also plays a huge role in kind of this conversation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's playing off this then. Let's talk about our own upbringings then. Where do you think you lean more towards in your own upbringing, nature or nurture?
Oh, 100% nurture.
Nurture, parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like, you probably already know the answer to this. You've seen this,
I know you are your dad 1.0.
Yeah, you know both my parents.
Yeah.
And I really do follow a lot of my dad's, thought processes, especially when it comes to, quality and construction and all that.
All right, can I stop you for half a second? Give a quick story. Yesterday, I was helping Tyler on his deck. He's putting banisters on.
On his what?
That's it. His big deck.
Got it.
Yeah, DECK. Otherwise, it would be small. But yes, so he's at the very end. He's done. It looks great. He's done a great job. But I understand why it's taken him 3.5 months to do this, because all he was doing yesterday was banisters. I was like, we'll knock this out in an hour. We got like half of the banisters put on in 2 hours because he overanalyzes everything. Kurt, thanks for that.
I get it honest.
Yeah, you do. So yeah, again, that's nurture. Yeah. Potentially a little bit of nature in there as well.
Probably. I feel like from an anxiety standpoint, that's probably more of the nurture side of things.
Yeah.
Or the nature side of things. Yeah. But no, I feel like my upbringing has more heavily influenced who I am now as a person than genetics.
That's
but
fair.
Also, I feel like I have halfway decent genetics as well.
Yep.
So, if they were way poorer, or even if they were way better, that influences it. If I had some crazy ass genetics and I was a super athlete.
Look at LeBron James. His
Right.
son is about to be drafted, and he's not that good, but because he's got moderately good genetics, he's going to get drafted.
So it's like that opens up a whole nother, world for you as a person. And that heavily influenced, the career path of every professional athlete out there, essentially.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to that level if you got shitty genetics.
No, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Leslie, what do you think?
Okay.
Nature versus nurture for you.
A little complicated.
It is. I'm with you. Don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as how I was nurtured in my upbringing, I had loving parents. I had a lot of people around me that loved me. I wasn't always in an environment that one would consider nurturing, or positive. And so I think that the way I feel about myself, and I've done, as far as this subject matter of me being an expert on that, it's nothing that I'm an expert in, but it's something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. And as far as like self-development, social, development, emotional intelligence, things like that, it's something that I find very interesting and I find benefits me as a person. So genetically, I feel good when I help someone else. I've been told I'm a natural nurturer.
You're a natural caregiver.
I believe that about myself. I spent 5 years my previous career. I was a massage therapist, and I genuinely found joy in helping someone feel better. When whatever the case may be, if they had an injury or if it was just they needed to relax, whatever the case may be, I helped someone, and that gave me a lot of joy. It's not a career that was sustainable or, that I stayed in, but even the place that I am now, I feel good when I interact with someone if I feel like I've made some kind of positive impact. So that to me leans toward the nature of who I am.
Gotcha.
And what stimulates my brain and makes me feel good, right? But as far as nurture goes, I think that I took a lot of, what I felt like my nurturing upbringing was, things that I learned and tried to do the best that I could for my children. We mentioned my children at the top there, but making sure that they understood that they were loved. They understood, the difference between right and wrong for whatever my opinion was on that as a parent.
Can I interject here? Just
Yeah,
as a
absolutely.
parent myself, I've got a 6-year-old. Obviously, your kids are fully grown at this point.
Almost.
Did you was this a conscious thing you did? Did you consciously say, "Hey, I need to do these things that way I raise a good kid," or is it just something inherently that happened?
I think it was something inherently in me that that brought that out, but also it was very conscious in some of the decisions that I made. Like there were, my kids, one of their most hated phrases that I used growing up is, that's inappropriate. That's inappropriate. And it didn't necessarily mean something that was, salacious or, whatever. It was just, that's not appropriate for you to be thinking about or seeing or filling your brain with at the time. I was very conscious about, what made them the people that they were going to be.
Got it.
So yeah, I think that I am very, I'm a proponent of nurture for sure.
Do you think that's more maternal or, because listen, I'm a dad, like Amos is 6 and I struggle with that. Like I have to consciously make the effort in my brain to feel like I have to, I feel like I'm a moderately good person just generally, but I feel like I consciously have to make the effort to kind of parent in that way. And maybe that's just the way I'm wired.
I think that's really important. As far as,
but for like Tiff, I feel like it comes naturally to her. So I don't know if there's a maternal versus paternal thing there.
There are studies, that support, that very thing.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of studies right now around empathy and the part of our brain that is correlated to empathy, right? And the difference between male and females there. But I think as a parent, that we make decisions all the time, a million times a day, when it comes to raising our kid. And I think that, the nurture that you give them, and if you really, take that seriously about what I'm doing, what I'm saying, is going to affect who they become, then yeah, I think that taking nurture seriously is important.
So I didn't want to interrupt you in that because I thought it was a very good dialogue, but I want to go back to what you said regarding when you were a massage therapist and, just feeling good about helping others. Obviously helping others, I don't think anybody is going to look at that and say, oh, that's not a good thing. That's obviously a good thing. And the reason I bring this up is because, I kind of feel the same way. I enjoy helping others because it makes me feel good. Is that selfish? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it to
for your
actually
own internal
kind of? And I'm not saying
no,
that
I can see what you're saying.
Anyone's doing that, but I can talk from my own experience.
We feel better when we help people. So are
Right.
you getting your own internal validation there?
Right. Are you getting it, for lack of a better term, are you getting your jollies off by, this internal validation? Because,
I don't want to hear about your jollies.
No, you don't.
If I had $1 for every time I've heard that,
You'd have $1.
No, but like even in 1907, as Leslie knows, it's like, I feel like I'm a fairly hard worker and I try to go above and beyond to do everything to the best of my ability. And, if I see something that needs to be done and I have the ability to do that in a very, good way, then I'll take it upon myself to do that. And then you receive praise for that. So I think personally, I get a lot of validation. Obviously my actions have helped others, but then the others see me with value in their mind, right? So it kind of validates myself to be needed and to say, hey, man, you fucking killed that.
You get
Like,
that
good job.
oxytocin hit.
Right.
That's what you get. Somebody pats you on the back and
And-
says, Tyler, thanks for doing this.
Right. Exactly. So that's why I kind of brought it up. It's like, okay,
But
obviously,
is there anything wrong with that?
personally, I don't think so, but it's just something that I think about.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm doing a good thing, but at the same time, it's like, okay, is there a little bit of selfishness like kind of built into that because you get the validation, you get the, the whatever freaking hormone drug you're talking about.
I mean, if you think about it as selfishness, then maybe you could frame it as a bad thing, but I don't think it's selfish.
And maybe selfish is a bad word, but it's the word that I can use to convey.
No,
my
I understand what
message.
you're saying.
I think that people that only do it for that external validation, and you guys, a couple
Yeah.
episodes talked about, that external
yep.
validation, right? So, Tyler, when you, and I'll use 1907 because obviously that's something, that we know. I know that I can count on you to do the best job that you can do, or to go out of your way to do something that is good for business.
Right.
Or even good for me sometimes. Like, you go out of your way to help me out sometimes if you see that I'm, busy with something or you're overwhelmed at the time or whatever. You will go out of your way to do something that is helpful. And yes, I thank you for that. And other people thank you for that. But I think you would do it anyway.
Now, here's what I want to say. He just played you because you just gave
I
him
just gave you
external validation. He's all dopamine hitting
I'm
over
gonna-
there
Yeah.
right now.
I'm just gonna hang my headphones
You
up and
just
walk
got
out.
played.
Whatever. You ain't shit, Tyler.
There we go. That's
Let's
better.
balance
That's
it out.
better.
Yeah. No, but
You're probably right. And not to go too far into my own bullshit, but
No,
it's
we
like,
want to hear your bullshit. That's
Yeah.
what we're here for.
yeah, bring it on.
I think now that I think about it a little bit more, I think those kind of situations. Maybe it's the way I'm wired internally, and I'm more objective. Maybe that's my driving factor. Maybe it's like, okay, I see something that needs to be done. It's not getting done. I'm going to just go ahead and do it, take care of it. It's going to be great. And my personal end goal is to, get this done. And that inherently helps, the people around me and the business that I work for. And then inherently you get praises from the people above you saying, hey, thanks for doing that.
And see, that's kind of where I feel like I'm at too. Like, I don't feel like I intentionally go out of my way to help specific people, but I just want the job. But at the end of the day, my ultimate goal is getting whatever the task is completed.
Yeah. And now that I think about it a little bit more, I think that's probably more where my motivation lies.
Admittedly, I'm an asshole, and people know this about me.
We've said that a
but,
million times.
yes.
Yeah.
I say it all the time.
Yeah, but I'm not there to. I don't dislike helping people, but it's not my underlying objective. My underlying objective is to finish whatever the task is.
But don't you think that people are capable of truly being altruistic?
Yeah, I think so.
I truly do. I think that it feels good to help someone. I think that.
But I don't think all people are wired that way.
I don't think all people are wired
Yeah.
that way. I don't think it makes you particularly special just because you exhibit pro-social behaviors
Mhm.
or that you display acts of true altruism. I don't think that humans are inherently bad. I think that it feels good to help others.
Mhm.
I think that, sociologically, like, we are kind of wired to take care of our tribe, right?
So I just thought of something else. So I agree with what you say, but going back to my example, it's like, why do I do those things? Well, for one, I like the people that I'm surrounded with in that organization. So if I didn't like those people, would I have gone?
I love
and
this
done that?
back and forth happening in your head right now. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're kind
it-
of flip
yeah.
flopping all the way.
But it's like, to put it more simplistically, it's like, okay, yeah, I did what I did because, all these reasons, one of them being all the people around me are fucking awesome. Well, would I do the same thing for some jackass that I hate? Probably not.
Okay, so if I was a raging bitch
Yeah, if I didn't
You
like
would
you,
be like,
if I didn't
screw
like
that. I'm not putting these kegs where they need to go.
This
But
is-
you would.
No, because you still want to complete the
I want to
task.
complete
Yeah.
the task. Damn, this is
So
really
I was gonna
fucking
say
my brain.
you're flip flopping here.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Does that go to, how we're wired? I mean, the fact, and Cam, obviously being, a doctorate and in the field that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
the brain is absolutely
Oh,
fascinating.
there's so much going on.
Right, absolutely. And so I actually there's a study
Well, let's hear it. I
that
like
I
studies.
actually took here. So in the and this is within the past decade. So they've been basically trying to hone in on the part of the brain, so the anterior insular cortex.
Yep.
Okay. So people that had lesions on this part of their brain, and the study, of course, is against people who had a completely normal state. They are more likely to exhibit the things that make someone empathetic.
Got it.
Okay. So they're actually able to isolate that part of the brain and then potentially actually, foster care and do
So
some
due
sort of
to
intervention.
due to the
with,
lesions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's just like, one part of it. But if you are able to nurture, the parts of your brain with something like, oxytocin,
Mhm.
things like that, then that to me is just like that's just being human. That's how we're wired,
Yeah.
right? So that's where the argument, between it being one or the other, like Tyler, going through what he just went through, that whole journey that he just went through,
That's fun to
kind of
watch.
flip-flopping back and forth. I just find that very interesting. I do think that we are wired to be empathetic. I think that we are wired to care for others, and to at least try to understand other people and help.
And I would agree with that as a population as a whole. If we're just taking the population as a whole, yes, I agree with that. But I do think there are outliers, and I think those outliers can be the result of either nature or nurture. So perhaps you've got something going on in your brain that's not wired correctly, or perhaps you had a terrible upbringing and it kind of sways you towards the opposite. But I think as a population as a whole, I'm with you. I think that we are genetically just kind of empathetic and we want to take care of our people.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. This was a lot more thought provoking than I initially thought it was going to be at the top of the episode.
It usually is with you.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Religious upbringing.
All right.
I'm just going to dip the toe in it.
No,
We
I
won't
like
go
it.
too deep into this.
All
Okay.
right.
But so I personally have a lot of experience, growing up with religious influence.
Yep.
And that, like I mentioned before, that
From Eastern
you're,
Kentucky, right?
yeah,
Ish.
well,
Ish.
my family is from there.
Yeah.
I actually grew up in this area,
Okay.
but still, we're in a region
Yeah, Bible
where,
Belt.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So, if you are this way, you are good. If you are this way, you are bad. And it is almost drilled into us that if you don't adopt certain,
Yep.
things, I'm gonna tiptoe around this
The
just
specifics,
a little
but
bit.
yeah.
Okay. Then you're bad. You're not capable. You couldn't possibly care for someone else because you don't believe or
Yeah.
ascribe to this certain thing.
Yep.
Right. So that really gets under my skin.
No, it does me too.
Absolutely. And I absolutely do not believe that. I don't think that you have to have that external influence or,
No, and I agree. And I would,
and that's part of nurture.
I would
though,
argue that a lot of those people are hypocrites. They're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's that external, validation too.
Well, you got to tell you got a weird look on your face.
Yeah, I'm really.
He always has weird.
I know.
looks.
That's just his face.
It's just face.
I'm really trying to decide if I want to go down to this road or not.
This is our podcast.
Yeah,
We do whatever the
too.
hell we want.
It's more of a topic for another episode. I'll just let it go.
right.
Continue.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, I kind of grew up in the Bible Belt as well. So it is that you're either good or you're bad if you subscribe to this particular way of thinking based on this particular religion, and no other religion is worthy, which is what pisses me off the most. It's not. Listen, you can have your religion and do whatever you want with it, but the fact that you discount every other religion is what I find fault with.
I find that you discount anyone as a human.
Yeah,
I'm going to
Or
dip my
less than
toe in
you.
it then,
Dip it.
too.
Just
Yeah.
give it a little dip.
All right.
Just dip.
And this might piss people off, but whatever. It's my opinion, so kiss my ass. I think religion, and I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school my entire life. I was,
That
knees.
explains a lot.
I was
so much.
I was knees deep in it, and
Were you a choir boy?
hell no, I didn't do any of
I
that.
don't want to see this.
No.
I want you to be.
Fuck off.
Sorry.
So it's like I do have a heavy background in Catholicism, and it's like when you're growing up, it's like, okay, parents take you to church, you're in a Catholic school, everyone's telling you all this stuff, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is just how it is. And then you actually grow up and you are around other people that are different from you, and you start to, critically think a little bit, and you observe, and you're like, oh, okay, I was ingrained that this is the answer. This is the only thing. And then you're like, no, that's not right. At least in my opinion. It's like, no, there's a lot of other different things out there. And I think, and I'll preface this by saying, I think religion is important. It serves purpose to a lot of people. But I do think that some people use it as a crutch sometimes to get through life. And I think and this might piss people off, but I think if you take it at face value and you're like, this is right and everything else is wrong, you have a deficiency in the ability to critically think.
Yeah, and I would
Yeah.
agree with that. I think that's what religion does, is it causes you to think one way, and if you deviate outside of that, you're not part of that religion anymore. So it does. It takes away that ability to kind of see the world as a whole, which is sad, really. It's sad at the end of the day.
Right.
And question your motivation for why you do things.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I mean,
again, that kind of goes back to your environment, your nurture, because a lot of times our religion and things like that are based on our upbringing. Good or bad, it is what it is.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So last question, then we'll kind of move to the fun topic. Do you think, so obviously we have genetics, predispositions to kind of who we are as people. Do you think that people can change that to an extent? Obviously you can't change your genes. Your genes are your genes. But do you think you can change the way you think about it in terms of like your personalities? Or do you think we're kind of primarily set in our ways? And what influence do you think nurture kind of has on that?
I think nurture has a heavy influence early on in your life up until, you become an adult. And then after that, I think you're pretty well set in your ways, but that doesn't mean you can't change your ways. I think it's more difficult as you get older
Agreed.
to change your ways. But, you've seen people, even with like weight loss, you've seen people that are,
Yeah.
Morbidly obese their entire life, and then they flip a switch in their brain and they shed 200 pounds.
Yep.
It takes a lot of effort, and it's hard, and it's harder as you get older to kind of change that.
For sure.
But I think it's possible. I think most people don't. I think most people do get set in their ways and never change, but that doesn't mean that you can't.
All right. Leslie, what do you think?
I think you absolutely have the ability to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's important to nurture yourself, and I don't mean like what you do with Betty.
That's important too, though.
I'd like to nurture Betty.
No, but I think it's important I think you have to have the will to want to do
Agreed.
that. You have to have a reason, to want to do
Some
that.
sort of intrinsic motivation.
Sure, absolutely. For me, I had Jacob when I was 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I have been a mother, working 40 hours a week.
Most of your adult life.
Yeah, was married for, 12 years. And so the life that I was living and my motivation for doing well or being a quote unquote good person or a good influence, for my child. So there was that motivation, but just beyond that, I have I've done a lot of self-reflection and tried to think critically. I'm a curious person.
Mm-hmm.
So, intellectual curiosity is part of who I am. It's not part of a lot of people. Some people are just fine
And that's
being
okay.
the way that they are.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's totally fine. But as far as the ability to change, I think everyone has the ability to change. I think you have to actively tap into that.
That's fair. I would agree with
Yeah.
that, and I'm right there with you. Like I said, I teach A&P and nutrition, and so I talk a lot about the body as a physical being. And I think it kind of goes along the same route, like Tyler mentioned with weight loss. Yes, you may look at your parents, and you may be genetically predisposed to have type 2 diabetes. Absolutely nothing you can do about that in terms of genetics.
Correct.
But you can make lifestyle choices that will ideally put you down the right road to where you don't have type 2 diabetes. And I think the same is true with your inherent kind of brain wiring. You can genetically predispose to be an asshole because your dad was an asshole or your mom was an asshole, whatever it happens to be.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean you have to do that.
It never stopped you, though.
No, I know.
Well, and I've actually heard this on your podcast before. I believe this was someone else's hot take, but people who are like, this is just me.
Yeah.
I'm just a bitch. I'm just an asshole. Just, whatever. You have to take me this way. Well, first off, fuck off. No, I don't.
Shout out to Bill.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't. I don't have to be around
No.
you. You don't have to be part
If you're a bad
of
influence on me.
Absolutely. And so, that also bugs me too. I was like fist pumping on that one,
Yeah.
because I hate that. I hate that. And, you don't have to be an asshole. You
No.
make a choice.
You do.
Everyone makes choices every single day that shape, who we are as people.
Great book on that topic. I read it, 5 or 6 years ago, called The Choice. It was about it was a lady. She was put through concentration camps back in World War II. And she kind of talks about her mindset throughout this entire thing about how, I could have given in to the turmoil of being in a Nazi concentration camp, but I made the choice to do this, the choice to do that. And she became quite successful, psychology, teaching at university, wrote several books. So, ultimately, your genetics are there. You can't do shit about them. They are what they are. But you can make choices one way or the other to be good or be bad, or just be who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sink down into the morass of just feeling terrible.
Yeah.
You can be lonely, you can be depressed, you can be, all of these negative things. And if you give into that and you have no will, now, there are external factors. Yesterday, for instance, I spent a good amount of time with people that I trust, people that I care about. There were hugs, there were laughing. I got, a huge dose of oxytocin yesterday, just from start to finish. And I'm in a great mood,
Yeah.
Would I
It
be
sticks
in a
with you.
great mood? And, would I feel like doing something positive today or, any other day if I didn't have that? And so I think it's really important to, nurture other people who have that deficiency and the will to want to do that, the inclination to do that. I think that is a natural part of us.
I agree. I think, what do you got, Tyler?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's close to an ending, but I do want one last thing from you, Leslie. As a parent who has raised 2 moderately successful kids, I obviously have a 6-year-old, so I'm going through this process. What's kind of the one takeaway lesson tip that you could give to anybody trying to raise a young kid in terms of nature versus nurture?
So I feel like one of the most important things that I did for Jacob and Jillian is whatever was important to them, I never belittled. So if it was something that they, that made them happy, if it was music that I didn't like, and believe it or not, Jacob had a really shitty span with music, whatever I'm going to call him out.
Don't talk about Nickelback that way.
That's fine. Yeah. But, whether or not I like that band or not, I get him VIP tickets so he could meet the band and have the best time ever and, get, things that Jillian cared about that, as a teenager or as, a preteen, whatever. I never minimized their world. And when they were upset about something, I didn't minimize that either. I would tell them, look, as far as you know about life right now, this is your world. This is all you know of the world. So this is going to feel like the end of the world because this is all you know right now. But I promise you, the world gets bigger. Your world is going to get bigger. And this in time, and that's the cruel part of it, is that you won't know until time has passed, but you're going to get through this. And I think that that's what shapes us as humans too, is things that we thought, oh my God, this is going to kill me.
Yep.
I cannot survive this. And then we survive it and we go, oh shit, okay,
No,
well,
wasn't
that
that
didn't
bad.
kill me.
It
You know,
sucked, but
so I never minimized them. I always cared about what they cared about. And, you know, I wasn't like totally their buddy. They fear me. They fear the mothership.
as they should,
You know.
to an extent.
Absolutely, to an extent. But they always knew I had their back, period. They always knew I
Yeah,
had
that's
their back.
great advice.
That's solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's important because a lot of parents try to push what they think their kids should be doing, like play this sport or do this instrument or whatever it is. And you shouldn't. Kids are going to develop on their own, and they should. So if you kind of embrace whatever it is they like, whether or not you like it, let it happen.
Yeah.
I like that. That's great advice.
Thanks.
I think it's a good way to put a pin in this.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. So share your thoughts with us wherever you like sharing thoughts. Email us, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. Tell us what you think. Nature versus nurture. What do you think has the biggest influence? What has influenced you the most in your life? Do you think it was your genetics? Do you think it was your upbringing? There's no right or wrong answer, obviously, as we've kind of discussed today. So just share with us your thoughts on this topic.
Perfect. So getting into the fun topic, do you want to introduce it, Leslie?
This is weird. We haven't done this before. It's
Yeah,
kind
we
of like
haven't-
we did with Bill a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we haven't done this before.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
And,
I
just
don't
go ahead
know.
and explain it.
Okay, so we've got two bowls. All right, so one of the bowls has
Spaghetti and one has ice cream.
absolutely. So one of them has, for instance, you know, something like a restaurant or a car or something like that, something that you would have an opinion on, something that you have an opinion on, you know, something that is good and something that is bad in that regard. Okay, so then we are going to rate those 1 to 5. So 5 being the highest.
Well, we do have a bowl. So we have two bowls.
All right,
So we're
go,
gonna-
go
we're-
with it, Tyler.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to pull a topic and we're going to pull a number. And everybody else is not going to know the number, but we're going to say the topic. And the person who draws the topic is going to have to give an example of that topic with that number rating. And the ratings are 1 through 5, 1 being the lowest, 1 being the highest.
5 being the highest. Yep.
5
Being the highest.
What did I say?
1.
Oh, yeah.
Numbers
Well,
are hard.
Yeah, numbers are hard.
I like
But yeah.
dinosaurs.
I like dinosaurs.
I like turtles.
But yeah, and then the other two individuals are going to have to try to guess what the number is based off of the answer that the drawer.
All right, we got
gives.
So
9
we're going
of
to find
these.
out a little bit about
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
another.
We got
Yeah.
9 of these, so each person will do 3. So you'll get the hang of it after the first round, I promise.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to start?
Hopefully we will too.
Well, bowls are in front of Leslie. Leslie, go ahead
Oh,
and pull.
okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. All
So
right.
You're giving us the topic or the number?
The
right now?
topic is, so you're going to guess
Where you rank this answer?
based on, okay, so it's chain restaurants.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So based on the chain restaurant that I say, you will guess whether or not that would be a 1 to me or a 5.
1
or
being the
anywhere.
worst, 5 being the best chain
Yes,
restaurant.
exactly.
Got it.
Okay.
Everything
All
in
right.
between.
All right.
So that'll be based on the number that I pull.
Winner gets or loser gets punched.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Longhorn.
Texas Longhorn.
Ooh. That's probably
As far as chains go, it's one of my favorite
It's pretty
chains.
good. I mean, I'd say that's a solid 4.
Ooh, all right. So you're going, but all right. I'm thinking in reverse here. So I was thinking 2, but in reverse. So yes, 1. I was thinking 1 best, but 5 is
Yeah,
best.
5 best.
So yeah, I'm actually right there with you. I'm going 4. Although I mean, I don't know that I could pick another chain that was better than the second best. Can you pick another chain that you think is better than second best?
Better than Longhorn?
Yeah,
Yeah, Oh, chain.
chain.
Damn it.
No, we're not talking about like
yeah.
That's the thing. Chains are. You're thinking like Applebee's, Chili's,
Yeah,
Texas
restaurants.
Roadhouse.
I'm sure there's something out there.
Probably, but think about where Leslie's grown up. East
Yeah.
Tennessee. There's not a ton.
No, there's not a ton. there's got to be something better than
All
Longhorn.
right,
as a
I'm with
chain.
you though. I'm sticking with
I'm
4.
going-
It's her second favorite chain.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
it's 3.
3. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
What are your top 2
It's
then?
pretty mid. It's pretty mid to me. So I like Texas Roadhouse a lot better.
God, you're so East Tennessee.
I'll
I
disagree
know,
with you
I
on that.
know.
You think Texas
yeah.
Roadhouse makes a better steak than Longhorn?
I do. I
Oh,
do
man.
actually.
Their
yeah, I'm a
steaks aren't
fan of
bad.
the ribeye.
They're not
though.
bad.
No.
I'm a ribeye fan.
See, the
Same.
See, the thing is, if we're talking about food, I think Longhorn's better, or I think Texas Roadhouse is better. I like their steak a lot, but God, do I hate every 10 minutes when they come out and
Oh,
start singing and shit.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
God.
no, I'm talking food only. Yeah, the
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna waver on that a little bit. I
Nope,
would actually
you've committed.
Put,
You're
I
number
would
one.
put Longhorn above Texas Roadhouse. I hate that shit.
Who's your number 2 then?
Yeah. So, I don't like chain. That was really
Same.
a sucky one
Yeah.
for me
Yeah.
to pull because I really don't like chain restaurants.
I like supporting a
Um,
local guy,
Yeah.
but I agree.
Yeah, the food's not interesting. It's just everything.
You know
is
what you're
just so-
getting.
yeah, absolutely.
It's consistent.
Yeah, I do think that there are better. There's a broader. I think the broad menu for me. I think that Longhorn is just kind of mid as far as like the options that
That's
are
fair.
on their menu.
yeah.
Yeah. So every
Tyler,
time
what's
you
your
go
favorite
there,
chain?
you get the same thing.
Favorite chain ever? I don't freaking know, man.
I know.
Honestly, since I moved to East Tennessee, Aubrey's has never let me down.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's a small chain in terms
It's a
of
chain.
but you're right.
It's a
It
chain.
is because
Yeah.
there's multiple.
But no, it's got
I wouldn't disagree with that.
it's got a variety. It's convenient. It's moderately inexpensive. It's in that kind of middle
it's
range.
kind of the higher of
yeah,
the chains.
yeah, it's in the middle
price-wise.
range, but it's you translate cost into value, and I like the environment. They got a full bar, they got a good menu, and that's my pick.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
like Aubrey's.
I'm
a
probably
lot.
with you. I'm Aubrey's and/or I like Texas or Longhorn.
Chop
Longhorn-
House.
Chop House. That's a good
All right.
point.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
fancy.
good. They
Chop House
actually
is
have
good.
a very similar menu.
They
to
do. I wonder if they're
Aubrey's.
owned by the same company. I don't think so
I don't know.
because they're national, aren't they? Chop House.
I think so.
Yeah, and Aubrey's is I think local-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and pass the bowls
Okay.
to
All right,
Cam,
let's see what I got.
and we'll pull his one.
So topic. My topic is cars.
All right.
All right.
So year, make, and model.
Your make and model. All right.
2014 Jaguar F-Type.
That is a beautiful car. I love my car. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead with what?
I'm supposed to. What am I supposed to do now?
What's
So
your number?
you-
Oh no,
I'm not supposed to tell you the number.
No, you got to give me
No,
a year,
whatever
make,
the
and model.
number is,
Oh,
give a car that would be that number.
This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with classic. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna give you specific years, but let's just say late '70s Jeep Grand Wagoneer,
That's got to be a 5 for you.
I think 5. Those
Yeah.
are badass.
which is my favorite. Yeah,
Yeah, you've mentioned that to me
I
before.
have. It is.
so-
It is number one for me. So
Oh wow, you hate that car?
no, I thought one was the best.
One
my
was the
favorite.
worst.
God
One's
damn
the
it!
worst.
Why are you going backwards with numbers?
We explained this, dude.
I know numbers are
Five's
hard.
the highest. 'cause
All right,
five's the
so-
highest.
Oh, so I thought it was my number one pick.
So you,
Oh,
you
well,
gave
that makes sense.
you gave
Fair
the
enough.
you gave the wrong model or the wrong response for it, but we got it
But
right.
we still
so-
got
You got
it.
it right. Yeah. You still got it right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We heard the chub in your voice when
Yeah.
you said the name
Yeah.
of the car.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Cam doesn't listen to instructions, so go ahead and pass the balls over to me.
Tyler.
Well, you guys did it backwards. Why is a 5 the best and a 1's the
Five's
worst?
the highest because five's the highest.
If you grade a test, 100's the best, right?
Yeah, which is a 1. Starts with a 1.
You're a dumbass.
Sound logic, Doc.
All right. Oh God. All right. My topic is movies.
Oh Jesus!
Oh God.
We made
okay.
so
well,
much fun
Tyler's
of him.
only seen 5,
Yeah, I've only
so
seen
1 to
5
5 is going to be.
movies.
So we had the
pretty easy.
movie topic. What was it last week before?
What the
and
fuck
Tyler
is this?
Tyler got made so much fun of for his movie list because
It's just a letter. 1, 2. Hold on. Hold, please. There's only 4 things in here.
well, it's 'cause
Where'd
we pulled.
you-
Oh, am I supposed to put?
You're
Oh.
supposed to put it back, dude.
God damn it! These directions are hard.
Also, this isn't even a number. This is a letter.
Was it S?
It's J.
J.
Am I? Look at that. What is that?
It's a 4. It's a 4.
Oh. Okay.
All right, shake up the bowl. Redo.
This has become a shit show.
That's good. Learning on the fly here. Second round will be better.
1, 2, 3, J.
I was looking at it sideways. I'm like, that's a fucking letter.
And I thought I was supposed to keep my number.
Yeah, good God. Okay.
All right, so movies.
Movies.
We just did this 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
so I
it's-
should nail this.
Oh, you guys are
Unless
gonna,
you've watched a lot of movies.
oh, you're going to crucify me. Forrest Gump.
You fucker. You can't even pick
Yeah,
that.
you
You've
can't.
not
You haven't
seen
watched it.
I watched
We
some of it.
listen.
So obviously it's
That's
your
not-
worst.
That's not the rules.
1.
a 1 for
Oh,
sure,
Ding, ding, ding.
which is unfair because you haven't watched
I
it, which
think
is an
you
embarrassment
are
to America.
inherently
I've watched.
wrong.
Your genetics
most
are
of
bad.
it.
I'm blaming Kurt and Mary Lou on that one.
Okay, back
That's
to
nature.
How'd that bench work out for you?
Leslie. Don't
Not
get me
good.
started on that shit.
Kate's still mad about it.
Okay, vacation.
All right.
So destination.
Okay.
Okay.
I
All
like
right.
this. Top 5 destinations.
Okay. Oh, let's see.
5 being the best one. I'm still going through this in my head.
Yeah, we can write it down for you if you
I
want.
know.
Okay. I'm going to say Cleveland, Ohio.
God damn, nobody wants to go there.
No, it's got to be like 2.
It's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fames in Cleveland,
Oh,
Ohio.
that's a
Did
good
you know
point.
that?
You are a big rocker.
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, but what
You're
else
trying
is
to.
in
All right, I'm
Cleveland?
I'm going
you.
a mid 3 right here.
3's a good answer. I'm going to go 2 though.
Yeah, you guys were right the first time. Fuck Cleveland.
Fuck,
Fuck
who the hell
Ohio.
goes to Cleveland? God damn it.
Ohio is
That was,
miserable.
that was a good selling point.
What was the number? What was it?
One. It was a one.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
worst
yeah.
possible
Yeah,
place.
forget that place.
What would be
Yeah.
your worst possible place to go, Tyler?
Chicago.
Chicago. That's because you grew
What's
up
your
there.
5 though? What's your 5?
Ooh.
What's your 5, Leslie?
I like tropical.
Yeah.
So the best time that I've ever had on vacation has been somewhere at the beach. I've been to Jamaica a few times. I love like small little funky beaches too.
You know, that was
like
almost my hot
Folly
take when I was
Beach.
looking earlier, that beaches are overrated.
Oh, get out of here.
This beach is not overrated.
What's your favorite travel
I'm-
destination?
I'm with Leslie on this.
Are
I
ya?
like the beach and relax. So Savannah, Georgia has a
love
soft place in my
Mhm.
heart.
You got engaged there.
Yeah, I got engaged there. Had our bachelorette party there.
Mhm.
Has a lot of good memories. Our honeymoon in Mexico was solid. So really anywhere with a beach, I'd have to say Savannah. It's a really cool destination to go to because of the history for one. Minus the Forrest Gump bench, of course, and then
I hate you.
obviously the beach and all the cool shit that's out there.
Savannah's really great.
Savannah's
the
awesome.
proximity of the beach is very cool, but also just like
The
the Spanish
old
moss
city,
and
yeah.
just
Yeah,
the
it's-
architecture
it's
and
really,
history.
really
It is a
That's
good
very
city.
Cool.
It's
That's
good-
a good one.
It's a good food city, which is
Mhm.
probably going to be my number one. I lived at the beach for 5 years, so it ran its course with me. I could care less and never go back to the beach again.
Yeah. Well, you were in Florida, so that
It's still a
Oh.
beach nonetheless.
Yeah.
But mine would be something to do with food and drink. I want to eat and I want to drink. If I'm on vacation, yeah, sure, I want to see the sights, but I just want to eat and drink for
Yeah.
9-10 days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Tiff and I are going to Italy in about 3 weeks, and I'm going to eat and drink my weight in everything.
You
That's
can't pick
freaking
that though
awesome.
because you haven't been there.
No, you're right. I'm just
Have
saying.
you called ahead to see if they have a Longhorn?
I might have to make that call. I
Okay.
am.
Yeah, I would recommend that. You're not going to get
I'm calling
good
the
steak otherwise.
what's the consulate or whatever, the big government agency. Where's the nearest Longhorn? I'm sure they're going to give me a good answer.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I would places I've been. Oktoberfest in Munich,
Ooh.
Germany was
Oh.
a blast.
That's on my bucket list. I want to
It's,
go. To
I want to
Munich.
go with you just because
I've
I
seen
want
your
to.
Oktoberfest game at 1907. I can't even imagine
Oh, it's so fun.
the level.
Tiff and I went when Amos was like 6 months old. We just left him with grandma. It was to celebrate finishing our doctorates. And I think I drank 36 liters over the course of 3 days.
Good God.
Solid.
But it was like 4%. So you can
Yeah.
maintain
So it's like a
it.
Tuesday for you.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a Tuesday.
Got it.
All right. Ooh, all right. I like this one. I'm gonna be curious to see what Tiff says on this one. Celebrity crush.
All right.
All right.
I like this one.
All right.
You cheer.
All right. This is my house. We do what I want.
Cam just reached for a number, looked at it, and then reached
Didn't
for
like
another
it.
number.
All right. Celebrity crush. Dakota Johnson.
I will say that's got to be up there for you. I'd think 4.
Remind me who
for.
that is. Where do I know her?
Hold on, let me Google it.
She's most known for her time in the 50 Shades of Grey series.
Oh, I thought that was her. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. You need
okay.
yeah. Leslie needs to bump up that
Oh,
number.
no. I know exactly who
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
I wasn't sure of her last name, so I was making sure it wasn't. Oh, man. I'm solid for her on that.
Yeah.
She's fucking hot, and she's cool.
Yeah.
What'd you draw?
It was a 3.
Really?
So she's kind of right in the middle. I mean, I put her in the middle.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, could I think of 2 more that would be higher than her?
Probably.
Probably. That's the thing
Yeah.
for me, is I could probably think of 2 more that are. She's
Like
solid 3.
who?
That's a good question. Number 1 celebrity crush, Tyler. Who you got?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Because I think she's very attractive, and
Yeah.
I think she has.
She'd be a hell of a time.
Well, I think she has a very real personality. I think she's a very genuine person as well. So that plays
Yeah.
a factor into it.
You're really
for me.
attracted to those personalities, aren't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Good.
What about
set
you,
of
Leslie?
Personalities. God, I. Okay, so I'm serious here. I don't have like a big like celebrity crush.
Bullshit.
But no, I will tell you. Here's what I will tell you. As far as like shaping who I am as a person, and my interest, probably the hardest like celebrity crush or like TV, character crush
Sure.
that I've ever had. And anyone who is born around 1980, where, the year that I was born, will understand this. Jordan Catalano.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no idea who that is.
Oh my
Jordan
God.
Hold, please, while we Google
Just,
Catalano.
Google that and you'll see who it is.
Jordan who?
God, look at that. Is
Oh.
classic 80s,
My
90s
so-called life.
hair. My so-called life. That is classic 80s hair.
Yeah.
It's Jared Leto. Now,
I was going to say, why
Jared
don't you just
Leto
pick Jared
as he-
Leto?
because Jared Leto now,
He's got Kurt Cobain vibes.
He does.
Jared Leto now is not someone that I would consider a celebrity crush. But Jordan Catalano, when I was fucking 13 years old, yeah, that's
We
what's
don't
up.
want to talk about what you were doing 13 to Jordan.
No, you don't.
That's fair.
All right. We good on celebrity crushes?
Yeah, I was
All
trying
right.
to think if I could think of my number 1. So I fun fact, I was in Nashville last week going to a music show, and we actually, after the show, we were all sitting around drinking, smoking cigars, and listening to music. So I came up with the
Nerd.
top female singer crush. Like if your hall pass, if you have, and for you obviously it would be male. What's your top male and or female hall pass?
No, I don't know if this like time in my life
You just
would
don't care
really
as
like
much?
shape me. No, but when I was a teenager, like that in my, in my life, that's when I've had like crushes. So freaking Gavin Rosdale.
Yeah.
I had a huge, and here's a little fact: I also loved the Wallflowers.
Okay.
So Jacob Dylan, who's Bob Dylan's son,
Yep.
had a massive crush on Jacob Dylan. What do you think influenced my son's name?
Yeah, I gotcha.
I don't see the connection.
No.
No,
Except
not
for
at all.
J-A-C-O-B.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
Tyler, what's yours?
All right, my what?
Your celebrity female singer crush.
Oh, singer.
Mine's Shakira. Those hips don't lie.
Oh God.
too hot.
Who? Ooh, that's a good one. Lizzie Hale from
Okay.
Hailstorm's probably a good one. Also the chick who sings the song Nonsense.
Chick. I'm just gonna put that into Google. Chick who sings nonsense. Sabrina
Yeah,
Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Never heard of her.
No,
Nope.
she's pretty talented.
Mm,
She's also super hot.
She's not ugly. All right, that's fair.
Okay.
My,
I'm going
c-
Joan Jett.
my celebrity crush, just to end us, is my wife. Looking at you, dear Tiff.
That's what's up.
I know.
Yep.
Trying to get some good points here.
There you go.
All right, Tyler, what's next?
You got a little brown on your nose, dude.
Yeah,
You should
it's a
probably
little
wipe that
brown.
off.
Tiff is hot.
Yeah. Okay. My next category: first date in 2 words.
Oh, your first date. All right.
First date in 2 words.
You've dated one person. You're married to her.
I've dated more than one person, but I am married to somebody. Yes. 2 words. First date. Demolition Derby.
I know the answer to this. So obviously that's got to be top tier for you, which is going to be a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate to. 5 came to mind.
That's
Four at least.
That's exactly what it is.
That's
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
took. That's where you took Kate,
Okay.
right?
Kate's been to demolition derbies with me, yes, and we've had a fantastic time, but that was not our first date.
So this is where you would want to go on your first date or take somebody?
If there was a chick that was super into me and they're like, hey, I'm going to plan a first date for us, and, you know, in my opinion, what would be amazing? Demolition derby, racetrack, anything, any
How
redneck
did
shit
you
like
find
that.
somebody to marry you?
I ask myself that every day.
All right, what's your 2 words, Leslie? First date.
Let's see. Trump rally.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, we're getting political
Yeah,
here.
we're getting into the weeds.
I'm sorry. Bible study.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
Honestly, like
That's worse.
I
No, it's
got a little take on that. Okay, so football game.
Okay.
Or
That's solid.
ball game.
Yeah.
Ball game. Yep.
You don't have to worry about dressing up. There's
Yep.
camaraderie.
Yep.
You got something you can high five over. There's a topic.
You don't fit.
You don't have to make awkward conversation.
Yeah, okay.
There's a common interest.
There's a common interest. It's fun. You have a few beers. You tailgate. I think that it takes some pressure off. It's got to be a gimme game. So, like,
Sure.
if you're a UT fan, you don't take a first date to like the Bama game
Yeah.
or a Georgia
No.
game or something. You go like when they're playing fucking ETSU.
You don't want to be
you know.
depressed later.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because you're
No.
not getting laid if they lose.
That's pretty similar to, I'd say that's pretty similar to mine because I have the same concept. It's like, okay,
There's something to do, something to watch.
yeah.
You don't have to.
I mean,
Yeah.
demolition derby, who doesn't want to watch cars wrecking each other? You tailgate, drink beer. It's
Yeah,
It's
it's
great.
laid back. You
Yeah.
actually get to kind of see
It's
who
chill.
someone is instead of this facade of like, I'm going to dress up and, paint this picture for you.
and you could pay attention, but you can still
Yeah.
not pay attention. And
Yeah.
It doesn't make it
exactly.
awkward.
exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think I got to steal that from
No
Leslie.
Spanx are
Ball
involved.
game.
Ball game.
I love a ball game. I mean, it's my go-to just on a random Sunday. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with ball game as well. That's a good choice.
Nice. All right. Here we go.
Although my basement would be a close second.
I'm going to
Well,
give that.
we are sitting in front of a sex chair here, so
It is a yoga chair.
whatever.
Oh, damn.
It's a yoga chair.
Okay.
Are you repicking? Are you cheating like me?
No, I actually put one of those topics back in there because I got to give it to one of you guys.
All right.
Okay.
It's
All right.
it's so you. I can't
like
take
it.
it from
Okay.
you. I'm
Okay.
not repicking my number, just the topic. Okay.
I respect it.
All right. So this one is bands.
Ooh.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
glad I didn't get this. This is a good one for you.
This is a good one for Leslie.
Oh man.
She's a big music gal.
Now, if she
Yeah.
says Marigold Thieves, we know where
Bias.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know where
total
that is.
bias. Yeah.
okay,
Those
okay,
guys
okay.
suck. No, I'm just kidding. They're the best. They are the best.
They
Shout
fucking-
out to that summer tour.
They fucking killed it the other day.
They fucking killed it. They fucking killed
Yeah.
it.
Shout it out. Shout it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, I am just going to go ahead and say this. So, Marigold Thieves, if you're listening to this, go to, find them on Instagram, Facebook, marigoldthieves.com. They're about to go on tour. So, they're going to Ohio, they're going to Kentucky, they're going to be in Lexington,
Nice.
going all the way up to Detroit. So, these guys need some support. They've been absolutely working their ass off, killing it, doing a second album in the studio. And they're just freaking good musicians. I have told my son so many times, I am so glad that you don't suck. It would
'Cause
make
you would
my
have to
job
support it.
so
Yeah.
much harder if you sucked. He's just fucking
He's good.
He's
he
really
can
good.
play, and he's got vocals
Yeah.
that range everywhere.
Yeah, and they're all just incredible musicians. And they're a great time to watch. If you don't like rock music, if you don't kind of like a, grunge kind of,
Mm-hmm.
style or, then it may not be for you if you're straight up like, I don't know.
So thinking about when this is going to be released next Friday, what's their closest show people can catch? after that?
God, yeah. So let's see, their actual first show is going to be in Cincinnati on the tour. So if you follow them on Instagram, you can find out where they're going to be. Anyway, they absolutely rocked 1907.
Nice.
We
They
had a
killed
great
it.
crowd. People were supporting them. So I'm going to get off that. I'm obviously super proud of my kids.
No bias at all.
No bias at all. I'm just going to go ahead and say my daughter made the president's list at UT as well. She
Killing
has
it.
all
Hell yeah,
A's.
Jilly.
Nature
So,
versus
I
nurture.
can't like praise one without the other. Anyway, she's freaking awesome. Okay, so bands.
Bands.
Okay, based on this number, I'm gonna say, Hoobastank.
Hoobastank.
Oh yeah,
That's got to be.
that's one.
I was gonna say it's got to be a 1 or 2 at best. Nobody goes out of the way to say Hoobastank.
No, the number's 2. I just wanted to say Hoobastank. They're actually like a 0.
Yeah. Name one song by him.
The reason okay.
So you are a fan.
No, here's the deal. In my former life and with a former partner, I saw a Nickelback show live.
Listen, I want to.
Hoobastank
is
opened.
a great show, by the way. I don't care what anyone says. Their show is fucking awesome. But
He can at least sing. They can play their instrument. Hoobastank was so bad that I was uncomfortable. I felt embarrassed. It was so bad.
All right, my topic is liquor.
All right.
Liquor,
Something
you just
we're-
met her.
Something we're all a subject matter expert in.
Nice.
All right, topic liquor. I am going to go with... What's the one that tastes like sassafras?
Is that
Oh.
Jägermeister?
Jaeger, that's what I'm thinking of. Jaeger.
Oh, yeah,
Jaeger.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be like a 2. 2 or a 1.
2 or a 1 in terms of like, God damn it, I did it again.
God, I hate you. Did you draw a 5 and you said Jägermeister?
God damn it.
You're an idiot.
Numbers are hard. All right.
Jaeger bombs for Cam.
Switch. I drew a 5. Bourbon all day.
Yeah,
That's
gotcha.
the number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm with Blanton's on that. You know,
I think we're all pro bourbon.
These numbers
Like
are
a
stupid.
good,
You guys did your
smooth-
numbers backwards.
Yeah.
you're stupid. We've explained it to you 3 times
And I
already.
mess it up every time.
All right, my topic. Oh, superpowers.
Ooh, all right.
This is why I put that back in
I
there.
like
It had
that
to go
one.
to one of you guys.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Let me think.
I like turtles.
I like totals.
I like dinosaurs.
We need a T-shirt on that.
Please.
The Lagers and Loudmouth logo. I'm going to say invisibility.
5 being the best, 1 being the worst. I'm going to go a solid 2.
Okay.
I'm going 4.
All right.
You guys split the difference. It was a 3.
It was a 3?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I think it's a cool superpower. I don't think it'd be my top choice, but I think it's solid. It's got practicality. So
What's
your number one,
Yeah,
then?
what's your...
that's a good question. Teleportation would be pretty sweet.
Ooh,
That'd probably
nice.
that'd be my
yeah.
number. That'd be my number 5. I like getting to where I need to go really
I
quick.
hate driving.
And you hate.
flying.
I know you hate
Yeah,
travel. So
That would be a
Yeah.
good one.
No, that's good. I don't think I can top that one.
No.
That one's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
We got
last
the
topic
last
goes to
one.
Leslie.
What do we got?
Okay. Here we go. Oh, okay. Halloween candy.
All right.
Okay. Oh, wait. Somebody put
oh shit.
it wrong.
All right, we're good. I
We're
didn't
good.
fuck it
We're-
up as much as
we're
Cam. So
killing this.
Numbers is
killing
hard.
it, killing it. Okay, I got okay. Milky Way.
That's a solid 3.
yeah, I'd say I like a good Milky Way. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go 4.
That's not the best, but it's not
No,
the worst.
It's not.
That's a solid 3.
Yeah.
It's a J.
A J.
It's a J.
It's a 4. It's a 4. So it's your second favorite Halloween candy?
Yeah, I Snickers all the way.
I'll say I'm a Butterfinger.
Long live the
You're not
Snickers.
gonna go Reese's over Milky Way?
No, fuck that.
What?
Here's why. I love peanut butter.
So what's the problem?
It's
I
fake.
love chocolate.
It's fake peanut butter.
What's
and
the
Reese's.
problem?
I don't like Reese's.
Uh,
I don't like the two together. It's a weird texture. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
It doesn't taste like real peanut
It's not
butter.
creamy like peanut butter.
I'm just gonna say you're wrong. I'm sorry. It's
Oh.
Reese's is solid.
God,
What's your?
how
Is
will
that
I
your
go
number
on?
one?
Ooh,
Butterfinger is my number one.
you know what? I just talked shit about Milky Way and Reese's, or not Reese's, but Milky Way. You guys are gonna crucify me for this. I got a couple number ones, but man, fucking Almond Joys.
Ew.
What a fucking nerd.
Ew.
Nobody picks
Who
almond joys.
raised
Not even
you?
the company who makes almond joys picks almond joys.
It's great. You got the almond, you got the coconut, you got the chocolate. It's perfect.
No one hugged you enough as a child.
We need some more oxytocin.
Yeah.
Mary Lou,
Yeah.
Bert, do something about
We
this.
need an intervention.
Oh shit, that was actually
Yeah.
a really good way to. End
No, I
this.
like that. It was
yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
All right, so before we head out, this is the end of the episode. We got to get our quick hot takes. Well, I'll start. We'll go to Leslie. Tyler, you finish us.
Sounds good.
All right, so my hot take is try something new this week. Something that you would not normally try. Try something new. I think we
Like heroin.
Listen, you do you, buddy.
I did that last week.
I will be there for you when you're in rehab. I won't be. I don't have empathy. We discussed this earlier. Leslie will be there for you in rehab. So yeah, try something new. We kind of get stuck in our ways, and there's nothing wrong with your ways as a person. That's kind of what makes us us. But we never find new things if we don't try something new. So that's my hot take. Try something new. Try something spontaneous. Go out and do something you wouldn't normally do on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it happens to be.
I like it. It's very positive.
Yeah, I like that.
Very
Good.
critical.
Okay, on to me. So we've already discussed the fact that I'm an ex-ennial or whatever the hell that means, and that I'm a music lover. So one of my favorite things to do is live music concerts, right? Oh, my God. Put your fucking phone down.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Your phone down. I feel like
love
I've
it.
dropped way too many F-bombs on this episode.
That's okay.
So sorry
It's
about
not
that.
as bad as the donkeys a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
With Bill.
Okay. But God, put your phone down.
Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment. Now, I'm not saying because I like to capture
Get your
moments.
pictures.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you go see fucking fish at the Sphere, take a little video.
But I don't need
Take
to see
some-
4 minutes of your phone hanging up in the air.
Exactly. People who record entire songs
Oh, my God.
have a special place in hell.
They do.
I agree.
Oh my God. So it infuriates me.
You paid a shitload of money to be there. It's like,
Why do you want to watch it through a screen?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, and you asshole, I'm behind you. You are
yeah.
affecting my experience.
I will say, the experience of watching it live is far superior than watching it re-recorded and played back on a screen.
And who even
Just
who
enjoy
who
the
goes
moment.
back and looks at that?
Nobody.
Nobody.
No one
You
goes-
post it and your
It's a
mom
flex.
likes it
Yeah,
and your
watch it.
grandma likes it on your Facebook and that's it.
That's all it
Exactly.
is. It's all a flex. Like, oh, I'm here seeing XYZ band. Like,
Yeah, snap a photo.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Of course, capture the moment, but oh my God,
Put the
it
phone down.
infuriates
put the
me.
phone down.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, mine's a little more controversial
Ooh,
than
let's hear
your
it. I
two.
like controversial.
This is probably going to piss people off. Not anyone in this room, I don't think. But my hot take of the week is don't look down on others because they're not from, air quotes, your town.
All right. That's fair.
I've been seeing a lot of this shit on Facebook lately, and it's like, no, by all means, if you've lived in the same place for 50 years and that's your hometown, yeah, absolutely have pride in
Nothing
it.
wrong with pride.
No, nothing wrong with pride. Love where you're at.
Yeah.
But we're in a time and place where people move all over the place all the time. And it pisses me off when like, oh, you ain't from here, you damn Yankee. And I'm
Coming from a Yankee.
yeah,
He is a
coming,
Yankee.
coming
Yeah.
from a Yankee. Yeah, I can say that.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, get off my lawn. I don't get it. Places change and evolve over time.
As they should.
That's inevitable. And it's like, I see people bitching, especially in our area about, oh man, 30 years ago, this place was fucking great. And,
There was nothing.
yeah. And it was like, that's cool. It was a small town, but it's evolving over time. And, like I said, have pride in your hometown, but people move places for a reason. I moved here from Chicago. I don't try to change the environment I'm in, but I moved down here because I thought it was an awesome place to live, and it turns out it was. So, I don't understand the people that dig their heels in and are set in their ways and saying, no, it was way better 30 years ago. It's like, okay, did you want to live here in 1875?
Yeah.
Probably not.
And I think this can be taken on a grander scale too, not just from a local town, but from a country. Yes, America's great. I love our country, but don't look down on others just because they're not America.
And the thing is, it's like other people have different perspectives, and it's really cool to learn about where other people came from, and you can learn a lot from their experiences. And I've learned a lot of things from people down here that I would have. Yeah, thanks, Cam. Yeah, you are the epitome of everything in my life. So
As I should
Aw.
be. Sorry, Kate.
As wind beneath my wings swells in the background.
no, but that's my hot take. Like
That's a
I
good
said,
hot take.
have
That's
pride,
good.
but there's people of all different walks of life, and you can learn a lot from different experiences from different people. So don't be so quick to judge people.
And don't be
And
so
shouldn't you be
close-minded.
flattered that someone wants to be in your area? If
Sure.
you're
Yeah.
proud of it and you think it's a great place to be, shouldn't you be flattered
look
that
down
someone
on them
else
for
would?
that,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. I like that. It's a good hot take.
We welcome you here, Tyler.
Oh, thank you.
Yankee.
I don't know if welcome is the right word. We'll
Well,
allow him
yeah.
to be here.
I haven't been run off yet, so
No.
that's a solid thing.
You're welcome to sit in Cam's sex chair.
It's a yoga chair.
Well, we appreciate you guys tuning into this week's episode. We appreciate Miss Leslie Beach for being a guest on the podcast. You absolutely killed it. And
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we hope to have you back at some point in time in the future. Until then, be safe, guys, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you for tuning in to Lagers and Loudmouths. Be sure to never miss an episode by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast streaming service. If you would like to provide feedback or suggest a topic for a future episode, please reach out to us at lagersandloudmouths@gmail.com.